Welcome back. We're continuing the series of places to go fossil hunting on the Yorkshire coast and some general guides about the locations. Today we're going to have a look at Runswick Bay. It's again a very popular location for fossil hunting on the coast, but I've heard stories of people not finding an awful lot on their first visits, so we'll hopefully try and help point out some places to go looking. First things first, as you come in, if you're coming in by car, there's a car park down here. There's multiple car parks. This one's for the locals only. This has got boats in it. You can't park there. So you want to be in the bank bottom car park. It's pay and display, but do note that the pay part of it doesn't take card as of 2023 and hasn't for multiple years. So you require coins to pay for it, or you need the app. So you can do that here. If you're getting public transport, there's a bus stop right here that you can take advantage of. And then just walk down this. This hill is a nasty, nasty hill, so do please be aware of that. When I say nasty hill, you're looking at the 20% slope, so it's really nasty. There is another car park up here, but again, if you want to walk up it to get to it, you can do. Once you're on the beach, there's two ways to go. So there's the obvious one, which is down here and follow the beach, and you can go the other way up to the north. I will point this one out briefly. So this walk here, this first section doesn't have an awful lot in it. You have to get around to this section here and further around. This section here, this little beach, you do find ammonites in. You can find a lot depending on what's fallen. This section just beyond it, just beyond it, is full of sandstone boulders and is a pain in the butt to get through. Unless the tide is out, and then you can walk kind of around them. So just be aware, you can do it. There's usually a path close to the edge that you might find easier to do it. But again, exercise common sense and your own safety if you are doing that. I'll talk about the rest of that section when I do Port Mulgrave, because that's the way you come back around from Port Mulgrave if you're going to Runswick. If you're doing Runswick Bay and you're doing the sandy beach side, skip all of this unless there's been a particularly new fall. This big sandy beach has very, very little in terms of fossils, and you don't really want to start looking till you actually get much further around. As of summer 2023, there's been a series of falls in about this region here, and they're being quite productive for large nodules, so do feel free to check them out, but don't spend a lot of time because this can be accessed through fairly high tide. And so people do hunt all of this section a lot. If you keep walking along, you can basically walk through the edge here, keeping a safe distance from the cliff. As you get to about here, the cliff edge drops away and you end up with just an old landslide, which is what this is. This is an old landslide edge. You can follow a path that you'll see fairly clearly next to it. A path next to it that's fairly clear. And you can follow that around until you hit the next section of the beach. This old landslide produced lots and lots of ammonites that split fairly nicely. This is eroding at a ridiculous rate, and so the ammonites are increasingly rare through this section of beach here and this little headland here. If you do want to look, don't be afraid to have a look on this little sandy and smaller pebbled sections here and the areas that are further out that get washed by the tide frequently. The next section is Kettleness Beach. This whole section is worth looking at. It is sandy here, but this in the middle of winter isn't sandy all the time. There's lots of pebbles and rocks. And you do find ammonites through here. It is a popular location for fossil hunting because this beach in particular is where a lot of people find bone. And so this is visited a lot, and a lot of the good finds disappear through summer. Do keep an eye out, though, for any fresh falls. And you never know what you might find. You can continue your walk around this headland and walk down along this past there's several little beaches and coves that you might find fossils in. There's some nice fossil ammonites that you might find further around as well. This section runs the risk completely getting cut off. As you can see in the image, this water comes all the way in, all the way around. So if you're going to do this, make sure you know your tides and do it only on the way that the tide's falling, so on the way out. Make sure you're getting back either towards Sands End, towards the southeast, or back to Runswick towards the west. You can escape this beach if you're at risk of getting cut off. There are ropes on it. Again, I do not point them out directly to you. You might be able to see where there's some paths on Google Maps. If you are going to use the ropes, again, exercise caution. Don't do them on your own the first time. Get someone who's experienced and knows what they're doing. I am never going to recommend you take the rope over walking, because this walk is actually really easy to do, and you can do it through fairly high tide, so you can get out here without many difficulties. You do actually get phone signal quite a long way around. I checked it out when I was last there. You get phone signal across this whole section. Basically, as long as you can see this headland over here, Runswick Bay, and the stuff just above it, you will get phone signal. So this whole section is fairly good for phone signal if there is an issue or an emergency. There's also a lifeguard station here as well, so it's fairly close if there are any issues. You do find all sorts of things here. As I said, the bones are famous from this section. You get ammonites through here. You do get golden cannonball nodules from this section, and you can split them and find elegantissarus blocks all the way along. This is just a luck of the draw if you get there when there's been a fresh fall. I can't offer you more advice on how to find them other than just look a lot and be lucky. You will see lots and lots of split ones on this section of beach, so if you're not sure what you're looking for, find the ones that are already been split open, and that's a good indicator of what people are looking for.